Under the tropical jungles of Venus lies a vault, home for the cyber-organic species known as the Vex. This vault holds no gold or riches, but a great evil with power unimaginable. Gather your fire team and brave the vault. Overcome it, or be doomed to the distant corners of space and time. There was a team before you to enter the vault, a 3-person fire team by the names Kabir the Legionless, a Titan, Pradith the Warlock, and the Hunter Pahanin. They have since perished. However, their true fates are a mystery to you for now. But remember their names well. These 3 will prove instrumental into overcoming the vault. Form the Spire. You arrive on Venus, a jungle planet terraformed by the Traveler. A once beautiful and luscious planet, it has been reclaimed by nature and by the Vex. The waking ruins call your name as you stand on the 3 sink plates. You notice a tall spire forming out of nothing. Such is the power of the Vex. You realize the key to the vault lies on these poorly defended plates. Despite your intel saying this is a fortress for the Vex, they can only spare a couple low-ranking units to disrupt you? Strange. But surely the worst is yet to come. With the 3 plates held and the waking ruins disturbed, the vault lies open to you, or so it seems. As you enter, your scanner identifies your location as some place unknown to you, the Trial of Kabir. Indeed, it seems Kabir's fate awaits you further in. The caves are reflective of Venus, luscious and green, covered in moss and plant life. However, as you step further in, the geography changes, the Vex architecture practically bursting out of the walls, suspended in midair, seemingly defying all logic. You leap across them and make your way down to the Templar's well. Pahanin's fate. Pahanin was the only one to escape the vault with his life. After his ill-fated venture into the vault and the loss of his 2 teammates, he was horrified of being alone. He is the creator of the Super Good Advice machine gun, a semi-sentient weapon that kept Pahanin company until he was tragically lost to the renegade Dredgen Yor. Many of Pahanin's thoughts were documented in what is known as Pahanin errata. Errata or erratum meaning an error in printing or writing. Mostly in part because most of these are simply about his love of cephalopods, stating that if human extinction seems imminent, try to relax, you're just giving cephalopods a shot. Or, always look up when you enter a room. People will think you're strange, but I'd rather be strange than have my head bitten off, showing off his paranoid nature. However, most importantly this. His name was Kabir. He wasn't my friend, but I knew and respected him as a guardian and a good man. He fought the Vex alone. This destroyed him. In the time before he vanished, he said things that I think should be remembered. These are some of them. In the vault, time frays and a needle moves through it. The needle is the will of Atheon. I do not know the name of the shape that comes after the needle. No one can open the vault alone. I opened the vault. There was no one with me, but I was not alone. You will meet the Templar in a place that is a time before or after the stars. The stars will move around you, and mark you, and sing to you. They will decide if you are real. I drank of them. It tasted like the sea. That is all I can remember. This clues us into the tale of his teammate Kabir. However, the truth of Kabir's fate lies yet further. Fight back the legions and defend the confluxes. You look down into the well and see 3 confluxes, Vex supercomputers, and another door. You knew it wouldn't be that easy, right? The Templar and its challenge await you. This time your defense must be as solid as iron. Your newest enemy, the Templar, and his legions attack. The Vex push forward relentlessly, trying to make their way to the confluxes to expunge you once and for all, while the Templar attacks more deviously. You begin to notice headless Vex charge at you with no purpose other than to self-destruct. They leave behind a pool of radiolaria that marks you for the Templar. It is a Vex Hydra with complete control over space. Alone, its powers are limited. However, it is completely invulnerable behind its shield, dispelling all damage. Those marked by the Templar are marked for complete destruction. Any who fall ill must head to the pool of light in the middle of the well and cleanse. Thus they are instantly destroyed by the ritual of negation. Despite the Templar's relentless attacks, you press forward and push back the unrelenting Vex while ducking and dodging the Templar's deadly maul. You cut down the many wyverns that appear and successfully prevent your expulsion by preventing the Vex from powering the confluxes. You are rewarded spoils of the vault for the first time. This encounter may drop 3 new weapons: the Found Verdict, the Vision of Confluence, and the Corrective Measure. The Found Verdict reading Witness and Guilty. The Vision of Confluence reading What you have seen will mark you forever, and in the abyss of time, all the lines converge on you. And the Corrective Measure reading, it breaks the rules of reality as ruthlessly as it shatters your foes, and a full measure annihilates the rules of reality. Now, apart from the Breaking Bad reference, these weapons can be uniquely tied to the Vault of Glass in different ways. The Found Verdict potentially representing the first fire team, and how Kabir mentioned the stars and how they will decide if you are real. Potentially, they were all found guilty and eliminated. This leads us to believe that potentially Kabir's fire team was originally more than just 3, and perhaps the rest were completely erased from existence and forgotten. The Vision of Confluence. Confluence meaning the junction of 2 rivers. This is important, but I am going to explain it and its connections later. And the final weapon, Corrective Measure, can be seen as a reference to the Templar's Aeon Maul, with its flavored text merely stating how deadly it is and referencing the complete control over space part of space-time that the Templar exerts. You have destroyed the legions and claimed your prize, but the loud sounds of a crashing bell flood your ears. The Oracles. It is clear now that the Templar regards you as a threat, and the Oracle's choir begins. The Templar and the Oracles are no different than a knight with a sword. The Templar's Grimoire card reads, "Even among Axis minds, the Templar is extraordinary. Fragmentary glimpses and scattered reports suggest a hydra of impossible capabilities, a creature out of time. The Templar and the Oracles guard the way into the deeper vault. Legends say that the Oracles foresee what is to come, a world as the Vex desire it, and that the Templar has the power to shape reality to match the Oracle's design, expunging any threats. The power of the vault flows through the Templar. It will take something extraordinary to shatter its shield. To put it simply, the Oracles see the world and the Templar shapes the world. It is no surprise, however, such a power needs firepower behind it. And that is where you strike. The Templar's shield may be invulnerable, but the Oracles are weak to bullets, but not to just any tune. The Oracles hum in a special order, perhaps even a code. Failing to destroy the Oracles in time, or destroying them out of tune, will lead to you and your entire fire team being marked for destruction by the power of the Templar. Destroy these stars, and claim your right to the vault, and prepare to face the Templar once and for all. The Templar retreats." This encounter drops Found Verdict, Vision of Confluence, and the new weapon, Praedyth's Revenge, which reads, "Praedyth's fall isn't over, because it hasn't happened yet, and will happen again. And Praedyth will never fall. Praedyth's and Kabir's true fates shall be discerned through the defeat of the Templar. The Templar is to be your foe. In the middle of the well lies a relic, an aegis, a shield of immense flight. This is to be your extraordinary weapon. The Templar emerges from its hiding, and summons Oracles to attack you. However, these Oracles can be destroyed fairly quickly, and that leaves you with one opponent. You use the power of the Aegis to shatter the Templar's shield. Your fire team Izzy rockets him to death instantly, leaving only a charred husk in its wake. You have defeated a true beast of power. You are rewarded with the Vision of Confluence, the Corrective Measure, and the incredible Fate Bringer, reading, "Delivering the inevitable, one pull at a time," and, "But where is your fate? And who brings it to you?" A paradox. I believe this is a reference to the Vault of Glass itself, and us the player. It could be said that within the vault, the beings inside had complete control over time and space. In this case, it being time. Literally delivering the inevitable, one at a time. And then the time-lost version stating the obvious question: where is your fate, if not in the Vault of Glass? And where is your fate, if not brought? If we combine this with the Vision of Confluence, it could be said that within all of the Vault of Glass timelines, you are there. Everything converges on you. You are the deciding factor of the universe, and subsequently, it was your fate to enter the Vault of Glass. And it seems as if the true ruler of this vault will decide your final fate. The fate of Kabir. Kabir was lost to the Vex. His armor tells us that Kabir fought the Vex alone, but somehow they didn't kill him. He consumed their technology like fire, fashioning armor from their remnants. In the aftermath, he became obsessed with the machines. He was claimed by the Vault. His armor and myth are all that remain. And in his final words, he tells us that he drank the radiolaria from the Oracles, making him become one with the Vex. The Aegis Grimoire card reads, "These are the last words of Kabir the Legionless. I have destroyed myself to do this. They have taken my ghost. They are in my blood and brain. But now there is hope. I have made a wound in the vault. I have pierced it and let in the light. Bathe in it and be cleansed. Look to it and understand from my own light and from the thinking flesh of the Vex, I have made you a shield. The shield is your deliverance. It will be the unbreakable. It will change your fate. Bind yourself to the shield. Bind yourself to me. And if you abandon your purpose, let the vault consume you as it consumed me. Now it is done. If I speak again, I am not Kabir. The Aegis can protect you from the Templar, but can it protect you from the evil that lies deeper inside? Enter the Gorgon's Labyrinth. Deep in the vault of glass, the fabric of reality bends to the will of the Vex. Warlocks speak in tones of awe of the Gorgons, creatures that seem to possess a dreaded, almost unimaginable strength, an ontological weapon. Like the Oracles and the Templar, the Gorgons reputedly possess the ability to define what is and is not real. Whatever they perceive becomes subject to their erasure at will. Until a countermeasure can be found, Guardians must avoid their gaze at all costs, or reply to any detection with immediate, overwhelming force. The Gorgon's ability must be tied to the nature of the Vault of Glass. We can take some solace in the clear fact that the Vex cannot manifest this power in the world outside. To put it simply, the Oracles wield their power as a weapon to completely wipe you from all timelines, while the Templar and the Oracles merely expunge you. This far into the Vault of Glass, their control over space and time is truly magnificent, erasing you not just from the Vault of Glass, but all of reality, past, present, and future. Thankfully, they are not bulletproof, so bring your best Wardcliff coil and blow them up or walk right behind them. Or wipe to them 45 times and spend an extra hour here. Praedyth's fate. With the revelation that the Vault of Glass does control time and space, we can consider Praedyth's true fate. Being almost considered a myth, there was scarce left of Praedyth. However, far into the future, a message from Praedyth is broadcasted. This seemingly impossible broadcast was because the Vex sent Praedyth into the future to lure Guardians back into the Vault of Glass. Sending him to the future is likely incorrect, because as the sniper states, Praedyth's fault isn't over, because it hasn't happened yet, and it will happen again. Perhaps Praedyth is trapped inside of the Vault of Glass, not bound physically, but time-wise, no longer existing in the material realm, but in a conceptual way, or in a pocket universe. There's no way to truly know unless we hear from him again. We can only hope that somewhere out there the Warlock waits, and somewhere out when we welcome him back. Until then, Praedyth drifts in a cell, viewing the futures and timelines the Vex concoct for all eternity. Open the gate to the Vault of Glass. Time frays like a needle, the Vex architecture seemingly phasing in and out of existence, leading some to plummet to their death. You make your way across the doors, the final obstacle between you and the vault and its treasures. The gatekeeper awaits. On your left and right are two portals, one seemingly a past, another a future. It is impossible to be certain if these are even our universe. However, you must make great haste in understanding. The gatekeeper can be destroyed, but will reappear, seemingly pulling itself to the present from the future or the past, or even another reality. But it is determined to stop you. Alongside many of the Vex within the portals, shielded Praetorians push forward to a singular conflux. If any of the Vex make it to the conflux, you are wiped from all reality. The Aegis appears again, allowing you to destroy the shielded Praetorians. You must pass the shield between the past and the future portals like a hot potato, while defeating the time-hopping gatekeepers and many Vex units. Eventually, one penultimate conflux will appear in the middle of present world, and your team must face the full might of the gatekeepers one last time before victory. Opening the vault rewards you with the found verdict, the Fatebringer, and the new He's in Vengeance. He's in Vengeance reading, the Hazen Axis mind is tireless and infinite. While it cannot be stopped, it can be paused. And the Hazen Axis mind is tireless and infinite. Tireless and infinite. Tireless and infinite. Atheon. The true power of the Vault of Glass is before you. Atheon, time's conflux. He has complete control over space and time, allowing him to send you far into the future or past, and without the aid of the Aegis, would cause you to be lost in the dark corners of time. Atheon is most likely the Heathen Axis mind. Its grimoire card reads, "To speak of Atheon is to accept certain limitations. We are ill-equipped to understand an entity that defies simple causality. Let us accept these limitations and proceed." Atheon waits in the Vault of Glass. Just as Atheon sidesteps past and future, it is impossible to say whether Atheon created the Vault or the Vault created Atheon. Causal pathways converge on Atheon from every axis in the space-time bulk. Atheon has a function. We hazard that it regulates and oversees the Vex conflux system. What are these confluxes? How do they relate to the physical Vex network that has devoured so much of Mercury and Venus? We might guess the Vex confluxes represent the extension of this network across space and time. Perhaps the Vex use closed, time-like curves to solve unfathomable computations. Or the Vex may seek to transcend a physical substrate and move their thoughts directly into the fundament of the universe. If physics is a set of rules that the cosmos uses to calculate itself, perhaps the Vex seek to worm their way into these calculations, to become a law of reality, inseparable from existence, a virus in the system. Perhaps Atheon was the centerpiece of this project, a command nexus that unified efforts across time. But we must accept that all of this is speculation. Atheon is seemingly knitted into the entire Vex network, most likely the one controlling their time travel, and perhaps even their future plans. We may never understand how large or small a part Atheon was for the Vex, but there is no choice but to destroy it, lest it destroy you. Atheon will cast 3 of you into one of the portals to fight the oracles. It is up to the 3 remaining to open the proper portal and call out which oracles to destroy. After defeating 3 waves of oracles, Time's vengeance will give you the power to overcome Atheon, and the chat reads, "Guardians make their own fate," answering the question that was originally posed by the Fatebringer. You cast down Atheon and your fate is freed from the Vault of Glass. Bask in your glory and enjoy the true spoil of the Vault, the Vex Mythoclast, which reads, "A causal loop within the weapon's mechanism, suggesting that the firing process somehow binds space and time into." Some legends live forever. Others are overwritten, reshaped by the sheer will of those who believe that any ordeal can be conquered, any foe vanquished, any god cast down. The Mythoclast is a Vex instrument from some far-flung corner of time and space, mysteriously fit for human hands. Its origins, mechanism of action, and ultimate purpose remain unknown. Perhaps it will reveal itself to you in time. The beauty and the coldness of the Vault is easy to miss in the hectic battle, but gaze into the vast nothingness and the glass that the Vault is known for, and appreciate its beauty and your triumph. The true nature of the Vault and Epilogue. Passion and paradox. Aid the vision. Simplicity requires complexity. Resent the joke. Glimpse the chasm. The final thoughts of Atheon. Time's conflux. The final thoughts of Atheon are as puzzling as they are interesting. However, my interpretation is that Atheon saw the future of it being destroyed and knew that it was unavoidable, but still did its job tirelessly. I believe that is the joke. And the final line, "Glimpse the chasm," could mean the chasm of time as well as the chasm of death, or both. It is possible Atheon, like Praedyth, is trapped in time, but that's just a theory, a game theory. The true power of the Vault laid entirely within its control over time, and clues us in that perhaps the Vex's true goal, a key part of the universe, like time. There were 3 weapons from the original version of the raid that did not make it back into Destiny 2, and those are Atheon's Epilogue, reading Atheon's story is still being written, the wielder holds the pen. This can be taken literally as in Atheon became one with you, and within you is the power to control time. Or that Atheon's fate lies with you, and your fate and Atheon's were intertwined forever. The Praedyth's timepiece, which reads, "He skipped like a stone on time's ocean. This is what is left. Unknown." The fact that this is a quote is another hint that perhaps the 3-person fire team was originally 6, and the other 3 were wiped away from existence. But as for Praedyth, it makes me believe even more that he is still alive, just a prisoner of time. And the final weapon, Praetorian Foil, which reads, "Erase the future." Perhaps this is the true goal of the Vault of Glass. Atheon saw you, every timeline converged upon you, and worked tirelessly to prevent an unpreventable future. Perhaps this doomed the Vex of this timeline, disallowing them from becoming a truly integral part of the universe. Regardless of the true nature of your victory here, it is still a victory. Above Venus, goodness strides. And thanks for watching.